The end is here, and so I face the final game of the season. Welcome. So the final few episodes have been pretty straightforward. You've seen us win 4 matches in a row, and weirdly, the games you've not seen, we've lost both of them. Oldham and Congleton both beat us with 2 goals scored for them. Disappointing, really. But 17th position is where we sit as we come to this final game against Kettering, and there's a decision to be made, really. Are we able to get into 16th? Probably not. No. But there's no potential for us to move down either. So it's really the final game of the season to secure and guarantee 17th position. There's not too much else to play for. In fact, who do Hartlepool play who are slightly above us? Barrow. Now, Barrow are bottom. So, I don't think there's any chance of a major upset there. It's the sort of thing where if we won 4-0, they'd lost 4-0. We would leapfrog them. But it seems unlikely, doesn't it? So, what today's going to be then is we're going to play this game against Kettering and then see where we go from there. And basically have a little look through the squad, what we can do with it, where it stands right now in terms of youth, in terms of what we've got, in terms of age and things like that. So we'll talk about that towards the end. But first things first, let's look at the team for today. So it will be familiar to lots of you. A bit of breaking news, really. I say breaking news. I've known for a while, but just not mentioned it. Andy Tannoy is retiring from football at the end of the season. We saw him play last episode. He's not featured too much for me in the 2 years he spent in his second spell. Was very good. We should really talk about that briefly. He was very good on that loan spell he had for me, though. It was a key part of that side when he was there. And a few other names I reckon won't be here again next year. The likes of Tony Hallett, I don't think he'll remain. Stephen Wright might be moved on. Mark Miles might go as well. Joe Togwell. There's a few names in there that I'm not sure we'll see again. Liam Danan is on the cusp of maybe not. We'll have to wait and see. But this is the lineup then for this game. Fitzpatrick, will be in goal. Colette, McCormack, Pring and Langley at the back. Douglas, Hallahan, Foster with Dale on one side. Clark second there and Brucey through the middle. Of course, Julian Langley will play his final game for the club. His loan spell from QPR comes to an end, and maybe one day we'll see him again back at Thames, but it seems a little bit unlikely if you ask me. But we'll have to wait and see. Let's get to this game then. It's Thames versus Kettering. Now they're in 8th position, so it'll be quite nice to win this. Of course, knowing how the season started, what we were predicted, I think the bookies had us down there. Not many people were betting on Thames to win the league last year, which is fair enough. I think we're 1,000 to 1 odds, so we've done well to get to this point right now. I'm a bit disappointed really because I would absolutely have streamed the transfer window, much like we did a few seasons ago. But my internet is a little bit iffy at the moment. For those that have been keeping up with it on Twitter, you'll know it's a nightmare. And I would have streamed it, but because of those issues, I'm not going to. So shouldn't have mentioned it really. I've got your hopes up and I've destroyed them all. Right then, let's see how we get on. Kettering. Now, they've already got an injury to Foster, who plays up front for them. And, that's good news for us in many ways. I just want to see a good final performance as Langley's free kick is put towards Douglas. Colette will get there first. He's actually been filling it right back towards the second half of this season. Has done very well. Day goes through. Doesn't quite get the shot on target, though. And it goes behind for a goal kick. Although we're now 21 minutes in. And it's Kettering's turn to produce something. Foster, the man with the injury, shoots over the bar, and things remain at 0-0. It's Kettering again, coming forward. Hitchcock, it's blocked, and now Brucey, who's already on a booking, plays it forward. Day escapes with it, and it sort of hits Foster on the back, which isn't ideal. But Clark Slocum, he's in. Chance maybe. Oh, that's what we want to see. The 2 wingers combined, the 2 attacking wingers. I dare say, and this might sound a bit peculiar to those that watch, but it's not un-Liverpool-like in the way that our wingers operate. Of course, they don't play on sort of inverted sides, but Clark Slocum and Day play as sort of these attacking 2, similar to Salah and Mane for Liverpool. And it's not massively dissimilar. I mean, I would like to try this with a Liverpool team, maybe on a save. If anyone's got a Liverpool save and you want to try this tactic, by all means do. You've got your 2 attacking midfielders, you've got your sort of your Milner and your Oxlade-Chamberlain, despite injuries, and then you've got Henderson sort of sitting in the centre. But we've got a similar thing with the way we play. I quite like it, and that's a team talk that's gone remarkably well. Everyone's happy apart from the keeper, and he's loving life. 1-0. A clean sheet would be nice, boys. Would that go amiss? Lukey Brucey on a booking. Don't see that every day. He's on a booking, but he's on an 8.1, 8.2. He's playing very well. And it's Brucey on the ball there. Loses, as I big him up, loses the ball. Pring finds Foster. Now we know the magic feet of Stevie Foster. Finds Bruce. Douglas again. And it's cleared, but you get the sense we might win this back in the middle. No, not this time. Rhodes instead comes away with it. Oh, McMillan with a great... the run there was fantastic. Laid off to Ward. Fitzpatrick makes the save, and it remains at 1-0. An hour gone. It's Patrick with the ball launched up towards Brucey. And we've now got a Kinola who kicks it back the other way. McMillan nearly tries to get there again, but good defensive work from us. And now Fitzpatrick, as he dribbles it out of his area a little bit, gives it to Brucey, who now finds the run of Foster if he can get there, but no, dealt with quite comfortably by Kettering. And now positionally, we look pretty well set. If we win the ball back in these areas, we could cause a little bit of danger. But no, it's Kettering again who make the most of it. And a great ball to Ward, who's in on goal. And, well, they've hit the bar, cleared. No, Fitzpatrick will gather it up. And, yeah, we're getting a bit lucky. We had one shot on target. It was a goal. 20 minutes to go. Lukey Brucey, he's having a fantastic game, but yellow card, struggling for fitness a little bit. I think Liam Danan will come on to replace him. He's finally becoming a natural at shallow striker. Slowly but surely he's getting there. Forward again though. Parsons knocks it into Ward, and it's in the back of the net, and Kettering get their goal. It's almost like you shouldn't make changes on Football Manager because it always ruins everything. 1-1 then, which is not, I mean, we're going to stay in 17th unless, well, I mean, I think we still are. Foster into Danan, who's come on and is now tackled in the centre. He's not the fittest, Liam Danan. He's not played that much football this year, so that might be a factor within all of this. And Jack Hallahan has picked up a knock with a bruised thigh, which might mean the end of a player. But as David finds Douglas, oh, what a perfect way to end the season. 10 minutes to go and we get the goal. And with that, we're going to make the change as well. Andy Tannoy, number 25, Andy Tannoy comes on. A random bevy of noises. It wasn't quite the hero that he was in the Salford story back on FM16, but has done, he's done okay when he's featured as he's involved there. Jack Hallan goes off with that injury. And there's Andy up towards Danan. And now Clark Slocum finds Foster, and Liam Danan can make the run, but no, Day's the man in space. If he can pull it back across, Douglas is there. And Douglas fires it over. 5 minutes or so left to go. We're going to bring it off attacking, go slightly more standard. Time's ticking away. 1 minute, 10 seconds. I mean, there we are. A perfect way to end the season. A good win against Kettering, remember, who were up there in 8th position. Were they pushing for a promotion place there, by the way? Have we just stopped that? I thought a nice victory, well done. I'm intrigued. Have we just done someone a massive favour? We may well have done. I kind of hope we have. I didn't realise I could be such a spoiler. I'm sure there'll be people watching this who definitely know by now, and I don't know. I think a Kettering on 68, so now even if they'd won the game, they wouldn't have gone up into the playoffs as Fylde held that place. Billericay top the table, then 97 points. Very good from them. Carlisle, Norian, South Shields, Chester, Halifax and Fylde are the teams in the playoffs then. Bournemouth, Brackley, Congleton and Barrow go down, and we find ourselves in 17th position, just a couple of points off the likes of Hartlepool, Torquay, Newport County. Relatively decent size for this level. And yeah, overall, I think we can comfortably say that is a good year, and I'm quite happy with that. I mean, there it is. There's the season preview. It ended up at 800 to 1. We were predicted to go straight back down. We didn't have any of the star players in the side. Although Fitzpatrick, for the first time ever, we have a player in the Dream 11, and Fitzpatrick's made his way in. I mean, he's still only worth 17,000, which for us is quite a lot. And Joe Langley's not even our player, but yeah, Fitzpatrick, he's fine. We've got a player in the Dream 11 at last. Oh, that's nice. Like that. Okay, so I mentioned it before. We're going to take a quick look down at the squad then and got a little bit of a rundown. In terms of ability, we're just going to clear... Actually, no, we'll keep it as it is. So, in terms of starting 11, we generally play our best 11. John Shepherd just didn't quite have the pace at the back, so I sort of was hesitant to play him. Maybe we should have featured a little bit more at the back. Okay, we've had some problems there. Maybe I should have messed it around a little bit more. Changed it around a little bit more. And the same maybe goes for Kieran Harrison as well, who could have featured this year. When he did play, he was all right, nothing special. And it now leaves us in a situation where we've got some decent players. We kind of have to ignore Jolan Langley, who of course is on loan, and Jack Downing as well, two of our better players, but won't be here next year, I doubt. But no, looking through it then, I mean, Fitzpatrick's definitely going to be here next season. Foster, you would hope, would remain again here next year. David Collette, Chris Day. I think these are the guys that we have to sort of build around. The pace of Chris Day, 20 years of age, Englishman, had a very, very good year. 14 goals and 10 assists. Really good from him in the league this year. Christy Clark Slocum, I suspect, will be here again for another year. 14 assists for him. Very, very consistent in this side. Not quite the standout player, but I think it's been difficult this year. We've had a worse season than we have in recent times. And beyond that, though, you're kind of wondering. John Pring probably just about survives, but if we can improve his area of defence, I think we probably will do. And that's kind of the cut-off point. We've now got to ask question marks of Andy Douglas, of Jack Hallahan. What are we going to do with them in the future? And these boys at the bottom, I mentioned them before: Stephen Wright, Andy Tannoy, Tom Hammer, Liam Danan, Jason Barry as well, maybe has to go, Tony Hallett. There's lots of players that potentially have to move on. And Lukey Brucey, who I mentioned this last time when we had this new goalkeeper, that you have these sort of 5-star potential players. Sometimes you shouldn't pay too much attention to the star ratings, but looking at him, he's not progressing overly quickly. He's 18 now as well, and I don't know, you kind of want a little bit more from him. There's still time. I say, it's 18 years of age. So I'll offer him a new contract. He'll be here next year, but you kind of have to start working towards some better players. And the likes of Gavin Fitzpatrick, hopefully, will give us the opportunity to do a little bit more of that next year. I mentioned the reserves and whatnot. We've got players there that names you probably recognise. Harry Honesty's still here, Wayne Atkinson, Gabriel Pesks. Sam Barker has been here for an extraordinary amount of time because he's 34 years of age, not earning any money, just likes wearing the shorts of the kit. Jordan O'Connor, because of this injury, he's had a major setback with injury now, so I don't know whether he'll feature so much next year. There's a lot of change and sorting out that needs to be done. You'll notice Anthony Martin there, who was on trial. We've actually signed him, but he can't play for us until the 4th of June, which was at the end of the season. I think next year, slightly more attacking fullback. I know it says defensive, but I think with the crossing ability, marking, tackling's okay as well. Decent first touch. We can play him in those more advanced areas. Good acceleration and strength too. So we'll have to wait and see. But he's been brought in quite early to help strengthen that defence, and that's certainly the area in which we're going to look to improve. Under 18s, I mentioned before, region-wise, we've only really got Kevin Smith, the goalkeeper, coming through. If he continues to improve like this, he's been tutored at the moment. We'll have to wait and see if he does anything. Ferry is working on him. Tom Mansell's the next one. Again, our youth is not something we can invest in. It's not really something we could plan for the future. Dean Can't, hopefully a friend of John Can't, you might remember from earlier in the season. But apart from that, it's pretty slim pickings. It's a reason that our youth intakes have sort of one good player. Everyone else generally is not very good at all. So I don't mention them ever, essentially. But it leaves us in an interesting position, though. There's lots to do in the summer. Financially, we are still just about in profit. I mean, that won't be the case towards the end of the season. But, of course, as you well know, friendlies coming around soon. So we're going to bank on loads of friendlies, probably get sort of 8 to 10 of those in. And that'll give us a little bit of money as we progress. Douglas Stars, of course, there'll be a little bit of information coming at the end. I don't know if we have to wait for the playoffs. But if there's anything here, we may as well touch upon it briefly. The season is over. I'm not going to vote for a player of the year because there's no Thames players in it, so forget it. Avoiding relegation is a massive relief. We just have to make sure we build it in next season. Here. Okay, so here we are then. Here's a few bits you might want to see. What we'll have tomorrow, I don't know if it'll be the full transfer episode. I'll give you that as a sort of a pre-warning. But what it will definitely be is Thames 10 years in. People want to see what's going on. We are now officially 10 seasons into the save. We're in the Vanarama National. I think that's pretty good progression. We've gone through quite a few divisions. We'll go around world football, see what's occurring, look at some of the bigger Premier League sides, some of the championship tables and stuff like that, see how it's going. And progression is happy. That's our best 11 for anyone that's interested. For familiar names, George Heaven's still there. Where is he now? Actually, Weymouth. Oh. Good for him. Again, if anyone wants to freeze that and take a look. Bradley Comfrey. Remember when we signed him? He was amazing when we got him in. End of season awards. Andy Douglas picks it up again. I'm pretty sure he had it last year as well. 45% of the vote. Stevie Foster not too far behind. Luke Bruce with 14%. He got goal of the season as well, Lukey Bruce. Signing of the season was Jordan O'Connor. 20 appearances, 8 goals, 4 assists. Could have been a phenomenal season for him, but with those injuries, started to struggle a little bit. And again, the rest of the season review. Poor in a lot of the competitions. Decent in the FA Cup though, second round, so don't forget that, against Northampton, where we could have played Norwich but didn't. I don't actually know who won the FA Cup or how far Norwich got, unless they were knocked out by Northampton, who knows. Plans for next season, we'll quickly do this while you're here actually. Well done on avoiding relegation. It's been a great effort and you always have a break now. Make sure you come back fully rested because I'm looking for a safe mid-table finish next time around. I think that's a good thing to say. They think that's really... They don't think that's realistic. Okay. I'm going to set the bar lower of avoiding relegation. They like that. Fair enough. I kind of wanted to set it a little bit higher. Admittedly, most of these players aren't going to be here next year. Just finally, we'll see if there's any more info before the beginning of pre-season, which seems very, very soon. Yes, there is a little bit. Board set initial budgets. There is a transfer budget of £4,740. Not much to spend there, but £10,750 on wages is an awful lot more than what we're spending right now. 3,000 more, so that could bring us 3 or 4 very good players, especially with the outgoings as well. That should be quite interesting. We remain uncategorised after an audit of a youth setup. Can we try and improve that? I mean, you probably need money to do that. No, and I can't go professionally. The people will always ask me about this. I'll just quickly show you in real time. Professional status. We should look to do this to enhance the club's reputation. Maybe we'll match the fitness levels of our current division. We're happy with the club's position in the football pyramid. Historically, the club have never been in a higher... Historically, the club has never been higher in the league pyramid. We would rather stabilise at this level first. So there we go. I'm going to try and... Do you know what? I'm going to try and push this through. I think we'll be left behind by our rivals. The fans want it. No, I'm starting to feel like this could happen. This would be a great end to the season. After all I've done, could you do this? I can't present. I'm disappointed, but I do understand. I don't think it's going to be happening anytime soon. And improvement-wise, we're not going to get too much done. Relay the pitch. Can we afford to do that? I think it would help. We can't do that either. So great news. That is going to bring us to the end of the episode, though. If you've enjoyed it, do drop a like. If you want to see some more, subscribe to the channel. And of course, leave your thoughts on how you've enjoyed the first 10 years of Thames. When did you start watching? Maybe leave that as your comment. That's the comment question of the day. And I'll see you again tomorrow for more at 5 p.m. with love, with care. If we're not to mention until next time, goodbye.